waited out. It's just really weird. But yeah, Trump is there. Awesome, awesome. And RDU, of course, shifted his camera a bit, and now there are 2 houses. Oh my god, look at that.
Oh my gosh. What's going on with that poster? Talking about the lineups a little bit. Trump looks
Okay,
like he's running the exact same thing as StrifeCrow was.
okay.
And RDU, of course, we've seen what he has to bring to the table. That's a Fatigue Mage, which is the first one we've seen in this tournament. And his Rogue deck is a little interesting. It's got some value stuff in it, but it also has a big haha burst at the end.
That's
But
right.
he's using Assassin's Blade and Tinker Sharp Sword Oil instead of using Cold Bloods and Faceless Manipulators. So that's something to look out for. And then with his Warlock deck got cooed, if I remember correctly.
That is correct.
So
Yeah,
his
that
druid,
is correct.
and then his
Okay.
druid is pretty straightforward, like pretty much most of the druids we've seen here. Do you think that Trump is going to be running this same style or similar style of list that StrifeCrow was, or do you think that he's going to run Freeze Mage? I know he's played a lot of Freeze Mage on ladder before, and it was a deck
Right.
that he was really good with.
I'm not really sure about that because he did get pretty much crushed by Mech Mage a lot when he was playing another class like Paladins and stuff like that. So maybe he thinks Mech Mage is like super strong this meta right now, or maybe he's just gonna go back to his freeze roots if anything. So that's definitely something to look up for. Maybe RDU feels like, oh, I don't want to even play against the Mech Mage because that's usually the tendency. So just gonna ban it out. And here we go, guys. The third game has started of the day, which is gonna be the losers bracket game 1. RDU is gonna start with the Rogue, and Trump is actually gonna start picking with the Druid.
Shaded X Ramus in this opening hand. I actually don't remember seeing Shaded X Ramus, even though we saw all 30 cards.
Ooh.
Wow, and Trump is going to coup this right away, and I have to think that his opening hand had a little bit to do with this.
Yeah,
With a 7-drop.
Trump.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's going to be
KT.
mulliganing all 3 cards.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, with the KT, I think Trump is playing more of the Ramp Druid style.
Yeah, I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the other thing about that too is that if he's been playing a lot of Druid and RDU's playing sort of like this tempo-ish version,
Right?
it's like it feels like it's so bad for Ramp Druid. Like, because sometimes you just have to kind of play your minions and hope for the best, and you get to the Ancient of War turn, and you're in your head, you're just like, please no sap, please no sap, please no sap. And then they have a sap, and the game snowballs out of control from there.
Yeah, Sap is definitely one of the key cards in that matchup that just swings the board, right? It's like a
Yeah.
2-mana assassinate because usually Ramp Druids have enough cards, they just want the mana and want the tempo, right? And Sap is just such a blunder. RDU is gonna instead choose something else, and his mage is the Fatigue Mage variant, right?
Yeah.
So how does that do against Ramp Druid?
Honestly, that's a matchup that I haven't really played at all. Again, because even if you practice for 9 hours, you would have gotten in 3.5 games versus it. So it feels to me like Ramp Druid is going to be doing a little bit worse versus Fatigue Mage because sort of in the same vein.
Right?
They're like Fatigue Mage has Cold Light Oracles for you to draw cards, and Death Lords put presence on your side of the board. So if you're able to use that board presence and you're able to utilize the extra cards that you're getting in Force of Nature Savage Roar, I feel like you'll have an advantage. But against Ramp, I don't know.
So how about this? The Druid Mirror. I'm pretty sure that Trump isn't. Trump has used the coup already, but now RDU obviously is not going to use the coup because he picked the Druid into the Druid.
That's not necessarily true. I mean, he could still potentially coup here. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Because he's starting hat again.
Well, I think this time we saw RDU coup Druid earlier in the tournament too. So he may have just made up his mind that he just wants to coup Druids and he's using it effectively as a ban.
Okay.
Which is sort of an option that players do have. There's sometimes a little bit more strategy to it than that, but this is consistent with what he's done earlier, and it's sort of weird. Like, I would have liked to see him play it. We saw a Harrison in his Druid deck. Did we see a Black Knight?
No, we didn't see one just yet. We wanted him to draw one for the longest time against the Hellknock, but he never drew one. Right?
I mean, that may be something that's a consideration to him too. Is like maybe one of his flex slots is dedicated to Harrison Jones instead of to Black Knight.
Right.
So against Ramp Druid, he doesn't have the big push that a lot of typical sort of the mid range Druids will have. Is going into the Ancient of War turn, you just Black Knight it and move forward. That's
true. But now, one thing I want to mention that this coup system develops is that the first person to use the coup is actually usually at a disadvantage, right? Because right now, Trump Well, actually, wait a second. What did I say? No, the Trump actually knows that RDU is playing a druid, right? So, oh, the second person actually gets an advantage. Or interesting.
It
I
depends on
thought,
how the coups are used. Typically, the first player who
right,
uses a coup, I would say, is at a disadvantage because
right.
simply because they don't have the coup available to them anymore.
Yeah, but
Not
not
necessarily.
now.
Yeah, well, not right now. When the coups go lined up back and forth like that, the player
Uh-huh.
usually who coup second is at the disadvantage
Oh, that
because
is really
you had
confusing.
to yeah, you just had to go back and forth real quick. So like you
Uh-huh.
just end up in a position where your opponent knows what deck you're playing and they get to queue up their best matchup.
Right.
I mean, that's part of what makes it so interesting is that it's very rare that you see a reactive measure, uh, in a sense that the player who uses the reactive measure first can even gain an advantage.
It's true. It's quite a. That's usually the case with Hearthstone as well, right? The reactive cards usually stay in the hand, and you need your opponent to do something first to punish them. So yeah, that's the case. So now Trump
Yeah,
needs to play something against the Druid. We believe that the RD Druid is the double combo Druid. You got the Mage, which is well, it's pretty good if it's a mech mage, I believe. But if it's a freeze mage variant, it may struggle a little bit. And paladin, I mean, it's figured the 50-50, and it really depends on what style of warlock that last one is.
yeah, that's the deck I'm actually most curious about from Trump is because I've seen him be all over the place with Warlock, and he plays whatever version he believes is best at the time for whatever reason. I'm going to say that given the Undertaker nerf, that it's extremely unlikely that it's a zoo deck. You know, he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't strike me as the kind of person who went, "Hey, you know what? Undertaker's nerfed. I better play Undertaker." Um,
Okay. Hey,
he's gonna take a different approach.
it's funny because that reminded me of the mind control nerf. When mind control was 8 mana, I didn't want to play priest, and when mind control was at 10 mana, I was like, yeah, priest is amazing.
You missed the boat.
Um, yeah, I definitely missed it. But
You
then,
did win
man,
you did win a tournament with Priest though, right?
that's true. But
Yeah.
I won the tournament without using the mind control, so yeah, that
Wow.
card is not a really staple thing. Yeah. Yeah. But Trump apparently is still deciding what class to pick, and RDU used the time to go to the bathroom. That's pretty funny.
Just
Yep.
look at the House poster. I
Trump's
imagine that's
just
the face that House was making after his rogue play where he just passed his turn.
That's funny. Oh man.
He's like, yeah, that was it's not what I expected.
Hmm. All right. Well,
Trump
hopefully
really
Trump.
thinking through how these matchups work out.
Mhm. It looks kind of similar, but then yet it's so different. If he was paying attention to the RDU's mage match, then he might know his fatigue mage, but I don't think he is. I think we just got him. One might say he just woke up or something, but who knows? It's gonna be the paladin against the druid. Trump thinks that's the best chance against this a tool to win this.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess, given the way that he wasn't here, that he's pretty unaware that this is a fatigue mage
Mm-hmm.
that RDU's playing. Gosh, this opening hand is ugly too. I'm actually I'm not sure what I would keep here. I probably would keep the Shade next Ramos and just pitch the rest back.
Yeah, keeping the shade is pretty sweet, especially if you can draw like an innervate or wild growth, right? Both of those cards work so that to get the shade out, and there you go. That's one of those.
Trump's hand's not too shabby either. Shielded Minibot with the piloted shredder, and now he gets a quartermaster.
It's not bad, but I think I still prefer the turn two shade. That seems just pretty insane.
Yeah, his hand is like so kind of dead in the middle though. Like if he has to use keepers strictly just for tempo. Oh, and now muster for battle gets picked up, and that certainly could really make this hand explosive. A turn 3 muster, turn 4 piloted shredder into quartermaster is a lot of potential board presence.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that, oh, why would you want to play Muster for Battle if it gets removed by swipe, right? No, because like if your opponent does that swipe, they just under so much pressure, right? Because the only way a druid can deal with all these 1/1s is swipe. If they do have swipe, they're trading a 4-cost card with a 3-cost card, and they don't destroy a weapon. So Muster is like always good against druids.
Curious to see how he's going to use this keeper. I agree with keepering here too, by the way. Muster for battle is just going to add so much pressure to the board and then potentially threaten so heavily on the quartermaster turns that you just don't really get a ton of options out of what's going on.
Interesting. Does the shade reveal itself for a possible hit? Does die to consecrate though, and does die to True Silver, so that's the risk you're taking.
I'm not sure what I would do here. I think I would tend to keep it hidden.
Yeah. Well, that's the board.
I also would have played. I would have played the keeper different too. I would have actually keepered a token.
Ah, interesting. Over at Trump's side, the Shredder is looking pretty good. But then you do need to sacrifice 2 creatures to this Keeper of the Grove if you do want to do that route. Do you want to go slower?
I think one of Trump's concerns right now is whether or not he should be attacking this this Keeper of the Grove or not.
Okay.
I really don't see a play other than Piloted Shredder in terms of like actually playing a card from your hand.
True. Yeah, I mean, if you do attack into the Keeper of the Grove, you're kind of giving it Wind Fury. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, actually, this is something else I was going to say is I like attacking it with a weapon because your life is like a really big resource right now given the way that the board state's panning out. And so however this Keeper chooses to attack, you could basically finish it off with your weapon afterwards or with your shielded mini-bot.
That's true. It's a very good move. RDU picks up Innervate into Ancient of Lore. Could fetch a swipe or something like that. But unfortunately, if he does, it's going to be pretty good. Ooh. Spectral Knight into Hero Power instead. Or no. No, Agent of Lore. Turn 5 Agent of Lore always feels really, really good. So, oh, there's the swipe.
Yeah, it's a little bit late. So the important part. Oh my gosh, he's actually not going to attack one of the tokens either. Oh, another muster for battle gets picked up. Do you think there's a chance that Trump is going to get greedy and wait? No, I didn't think so. He's just going to lock up his value while he can. This is important. This is really important to see what you get actually.
And it's do not admirable. Do not ever underestimate the light wall. seriously, do not underestimate the light wall. I underestimated the light wall 2 times, and Asher won me 2 games.
I'm gonna go ahead and underestimate the light well until I see otherwise.
Damn it!
Oh, man. Despite the I don't know what's the main priest guy called? Is it like a
Velen?
No, not like the legendary. Like what's the head priest called? Like in typical priest. Yeah, like priests are like the religious ceremonial guys. Prophets? Is it prophets? Yeah, you're like you're like the main prophet in Hearthstone.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna go against your advice here, and you're like
you see, RDS feels so threatened by the Lightwell, I have to kill it. You understand the value of Lightwell? It's not even a Pagel, alright? You need to hero power down. That is insane.
Oh my gosh, this is so weird. I have never seen anybody do this. He knows to not underestimate it. I'm almost convinced now. Not quite.
Hey, if a Shredder deals 4 damage and soaks swipe, that's a good Shredder. That's a good one.
I mean, that was a massive Shredder.
Mm-hmm. Like, it got value already by not doing anything. It just sat there and it just got value. So Vaughn is going to be dropped here. That was a pretty good drop. And over at RD's side, well, not really too exciting, I guess. Druid's playing from behind always feels like such a hard task, you know.
Yeah, RDU's definitely he's definitely struggling right now.
Mm-hmm.
This Paladin draw was just so strong from the start. Picking up that muster for battle was like easily one of the differences in making this such a strong game for Trump and not. And then also going back to the Keeper of the Grove turn where he chose to silence the shielded minibot instead of picking off tokens. That ended up turning into a significant amount of damage as the game rolled out.
And yeah, I think definitely missing out on the token kills made the Quartermaster that much more punishing. Lothrop's gonna seal away any spell clears. So if RD wants to clear, you have to use your hero power.
That's exactly what he's gonna do, but he is taking a lot of damage in the process.
So much damage. Man, it just feels so slow from the Druid now, only playing one creature per turn.
Oh, piloted Sky Golem gets picked up, and this is just so much pressure again from Trump.
Oh man. It's basically a Cairn, right? I mean, it just Death Rattles into something else. Druids do not really. I mean, on a big board, Druid has problems already. And a big board with Death Rattle? That's just insane.
Something Trump I don't think is concerned with anymore either is something like Mind Control Tech. He just had 4 minions on the board, and he didn't see it. So he's
Okay.
like just absolutely free to extend as much as he wants.
Makes sense. Of course, doesn't want to take the 4 extra damage. That would be pretty.
I'm really surprised by him killing the Spectral Knight there, though.
Why?
It was just 5 points of damage. Like, where's the Spectral Knight going to go?
I mean, you don't want to die to shenanigans like the combo plus innervate, right?
Does he die to combo? Yeah, combo plus innervate would kill him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's definitely the reason why then.
Mm-hmm. So now RDU can't even charge the face of the Druid of the Claw here because he's just gonna die. Oh, he could keep her, deal 2 damage, and actually Druid of the Claw charge. That's one way to win the match.
Yeah, I see this Druid of the Claw charging here.
Or would you just play the Spectral Knight?
I think I charge.
The thing with Pilot Sky Golem that's so strong is that it cannot backfire. No 4-drops in the game actually screw you over, except for one, which is Fell Cannon, and Fell Cannon doesn't even activate your opponent's turn. So that's why Sky Golem is so much better than the Pilot Shredder, right? The Shredder could backfire a lot of times. Like 2-drops are kind of scary.
Man, I like the fact that it can backfire. That fits the theme to me. They need to make 4-drops that purposely do something bad, just so that Piloted Sky Golem can fail.
Really?
Yeah,
I actually like the dynamic that one actually might fail and the other one is kind of more stable. And Sneasel Shredder is the one that's like super most stable. Okay, fine, lower control, but still, you know what I mean, right? I like the theme. The theme is good.
I don't see the out here.
No?
I think it's just too much pressure from Trump at the end of the day, and RDU the game slipped away a little bit early, and Trump was able to continue to stay one step ahead.
All right, Force of Nature Savage Roar going to be used to clear the board here. That's pretty sad. Never a thing you want to see.
Yeah.
But you know what? If RDU actually gets to manage to stabilize the board, he still has Scenarios and still a lot of big threats. So yeah, pretty good.
It's just gonna summon Old Murkai.
Ooh, that's a Lolo. Oh, a dead Lolo then. Oh wow, just keeping the dudes alive again.
Oh jeez.
Oh, are we gonna see lethal?
It's definitely possible. I'm pretty sure.
Knife juggler.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure equality is actually enough. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, equality is going to be enough for lethal. 100%.
Equality pushes for that 1 more damage, and that is enough to take RD.
Oh, he actually hit lethal no matter what here. It's just like impossible to make because he has 2 points of damage. He has 3 points of damage, and he's making 4 tokens. So even if 2 keepers.
Oh yeah,
first,
yeah. Well, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's going to do it though. Trump's going to lock up game 1 off the. I mean, I think he played this Paladin game fantastically. And honestly, the light well from the piloted Shredder being a major difference in this game because it took RDU's entire turn to kill it. I think that's one of the reasons why I would have chosen to. I think that's one of the reasons I would have chosen to ignore it though, is because he forewent a lot of development to make sure that he killed a light well, so he couldn't get value out of the light well. But then, how does he actually like recover the board? How does he sustain that? How does he get himself out of that position? Like you need minions to be